This episode is about the closure myth. Why I need closure is the biggest lie we could tell ourselves. The lie we want to believe. How many times have you said it? I just need closure. One more conversation. One more last meetup. One final text just to clear the air before you really move on. But let's be real. Closure isn't what we're looking for. What we really want is a different ending. What we think closure is versus what it really is. We convince ourselves that closure is about understanding, about getting answers. But if we're honest, closure is just hope in disguise. It's the last attempt to get them to say what we've always wished they would. And that's why closure never really satisfies. Because deep down, we're looking for a rewrite. The real reason we can't let go. Let's talk about why we actually struggle to move on. Because it's not about what they did or didn't say. It's about unfinished business. It's about unprocessed grief. When a relationship ends, we're not just losing a person. We're losing a future we've built in our minds. The plans we made. The version of ourselves that existed inside of that love story. And when that's ripped away, we panic. We scramble to find something, anything, to make the loss make sense. That's why you want to text them. That's why you want that final conversation. Not because you need clarity, but because you're desperate to control a loss that's too big to carry. The illusion of one last conversation. Okay, but what if they actually give you closure? What you want? What if they sit down and answer every question? Will it really change anything? Maybe for a moment, but in a week, a month, a year, you'll still have to grieve. You'll still have to wake up and feel the emptiness of that absence. No amount of talking, no perfectly worded explanation is going to make it hurt less. The hardest pill to swallow. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. Closure isn't something you give yourself. You don't need to know why they left. You don't need one last apology, one last conversation, one last anything. You just need to decide that the version of you that is waiting for closure doesn't exist anymore. How to give yourself real closure. Accept that you'll never get what you want. Even if they told you everything, it wouldn't make the pain go away. Some things are just unfair. And learning to live with that is real closure. Write the final conversation yourself. Journal it. Write the last thing you wish they would have said. Then close the book and never read it again. Mourn the relationship like you would mourn a person. Because in a way, it is a death. Let yourself grieve. Let yourself cry. But don't dig up the grave looking for signs of life. Block them if you have to. Not out of anger, out of self-respect. Because if they really cared about your healing, they wouldn't be making it harder for you to move on. If you're waiting for closure, I'll give it to you now. It's over. And that's okay. Not because they explained it, not because it was the perfect goodbye, but because you decided to stop waiting for something that was never yours to begin with. If this hit home, don't just sit with it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the story doesn't end when they walk away. It ends when you decide to stop looking back. If this episode made you rethink everything, wait until next week when we break down why I just attract toxic people isn't bad luck. It's something much deeper than that. See you then.